Too often business owners today are focusing on the little things in business. They're ordering supplies, dealing with employees, and dealing with customers, when what we should be focusing on is the most important thing, cash flow. I've grown over 10 businesses from the ground up. In this podcast, you'll learn the ins and outs of building a business and how to build transferable value. And most importantly, you'll learn how to maximize cash. They call me Cash Flow Mike, and this is the clear path to cash. Hey, it's Cash Flow Mike, and today I've got to tell you, I'm joined by Vic Vines. And Vic and I first met at George's Restaurant in Waco, Texas, just prior to the Baylor versus Oklahoma football game. First of all, he's a former Baylor football player, and we kind of just ran across each other just, face to face, and we had some similarities in our background. One, I used to have a hotel staffing company that the way I ran it kind of is the same way that he runs, or actually what his company, the service his company provides as a PEO. And that's I'll let him explain what a PEO is. But besides being just an all-around great guy, Vic is a PEO consultant for LL Roberts Group, where they're helping small business owners focus on their core business activities by taking the headaches that are associated with employee administration. So, hey, Vic, thanks for joining me. Welcome to the show.
You're welcome, Mike. I look forward to the topic today, and I'm excited about what I'm doing, the product that I represent. And I've been in sales and consulting for, 35 years, and this is by far my best product that I've ever been involved in. So I'm looking forward to sharing some information with you today.
Well, good, because I'm always looking for ways to help small business owners either save money, focus on what they're good at, or basically just, avoid the risk of being involved, right? Because as the rules get complex, small and mid-sized business owners, I think they need to be making sure that they're crossing their I's and dotting their T's. I said that backwards, but, they're just going to stay out of trouble. Is that right?
Yeah, and the compliance is growing, from, mid-'80s. There may have been 7 or 8 different entities that you had to comply with. Now there's 35, 50. And it's growing. So what we want to do is, and as we'll get into this, what we want to do is take that headache off the small business owner, allow him to do what he does best, which is he may be a master plumber, he may be HVAC, he may be a general contractor. He's really good at what he does, but, he didn't go to school to learn how to do the back office administration. So our encouragement is to allow, outsource that to somebody that can help him do that. That way he can focus his time and energy on the bottom line, profitability, and growing his company. A lot of our companies, they start with 7 or 8, and they want to grow it. They want to grow it, and they're intimidated to grow it until they enter into a relationship with our company, and then we allow them to have the freedom to grow and grow wisely.
Well, I tell you what, I love that, and I have a ton of questions for you. Let me just remind the folks that are listening to the Clear Path to Cash podcast, if you go to cashflowmike.com, you can get all the show notes and any links that are mentioned in this episode. Also go to YouTube and search for Cashflow Mike and subscribe to our channel, and then make sure you click that bell button to be notified of all the future episodes. Lastly, if you're going to listen on any of your favorite platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, just subscribe. Hey, leave me a review. I always like to know what you think of this and what I can do better. So, Vic, let me get into this. I mean, we just told people what you do about, how you're trying to help small business owners grow by letting them focus on their core business activities. How'd you get here, right? I mean, how does somebody like you, get into that position?
Yeah, interesting story. Of course, I went to Baylor on a football scholarship. I grew up in Odessa and played at Odessa Permian, which was well known from Friday Night Lights fame. I was 10 years prior to that movie being made, so I kind of put our high school on the map. We've had a very successful high school program. I was a quarterback in high school. I was recruited by colleges and ended up choosing Baylor. I switched to defensive back there at Baylor. I had a wonderful experience there, played with Mike Singletary, a Hall of Famer,
Awesome.
Many other NFL players. We actually won the Southwest Conference in 1980, which was a big deal because it was only the second time in like 50 years that Baylor had won the conference. So Wonderful time there at Baylor. I got a finance degree out of the business school. I had an opportunity to play with the Washington Redskins for my rookie season, and I made the team. We played in the Super Bowl. Got to experience Joe Gibbs was my head coach, Joe Theismann, John Riggins, a lot of cast of characters. So that was a wonderful experience. NFL's tough. And as Jerry Glanville stated, NFL stands for not for long. And I knew that it wasn't going to be a career for me. I was going to grab every year that I could. It was a one-year experience. And then I moved back to Dallas, and I had a finance degree. And back then, with a finance degree, you go to work at a bank. So I chose that route until I was introduced to a coworker with LL Roberts Group, which is my current company. So I've been in sales and consulting for 35 years. And so through a friend of a friend, I was introduced to LL Roberts Group, which was what I didn't know at the time, a PEO. I don't say those initials much because that's our industry jargon, but it's professional employer organization. What is it? I didn't know. Insurance, payroll, workers' comp, and employee benefits. I didn't really understand. It can be a very complex product, but as I dove into it, I said, this is a product that's growing in popularity. It works. Joined a company that had been in business for 30 years, a family-owned business. So the origin of the PEO world was back in the late 80s. Well, that kind of morphed into what it is today, highly regulated by the IRS, growing in popularity. The big boys in our industry would be Insperity, TriNet, ADP. Everybody knows ADP is the world's largest payroll company, but they have ADP Total Source, which is a PEO. So basically, what I do with the company is I'll go in and talk to the business owner and get into his shoes, get into his life. And I think I have a pretty good feel for who that small business owner is.
What I heard you say there was, what you liked about it was, there's an end result. You can see, all of the ways that you help your clients, right?
Right.
And believe me, especially when it comes to growth, because when you want to grow, a lot of times you do have to add that HR element, that human capital in order to get your job done. So,
yep.
And believe it or not, it gets thornier, right? Which means every single person you put on there is another thorn on the branch where you've got to actually nurture it into a rose, using a rose analogy. Which leads me to the question on your website that you guys ask right up front. And I want you to say, I think this is what you do. You take kind of the headaches out of the business, right? It's the ultimate solution for that small business owner. And it starts off with this. It says, as a business owner or manager, do you feel as though the government has made you a non-compensated, highly penalized tax collector? What do you mean by that?
Well, the people that are in business didn't get in business to do payroll and to do HR and to do workers' comp and to do employee benefits. They got into business to do what they do best. And so what they do is they find themselves, trying to keep their company in compliant, and some do. Some do an okay job. Some get a person to come be an office manager that kind of does, wears 5 different hats. I'm a payroll person. Now I'm an HR person. Oh, I got to coordinate with the workers' comp agent. But now we're going to do benefits. What does that mean? Well, it's a group health plan. Oh, that's intimidating. Health is intimidating. It changes every week. It's a complicated process, and you're not getting paid to do any of that.
Exactly right. So it sounds like that's what you're doing. You're looking at across the whole landscape of government regulation and saying, hey, we know what has to happen, when it has to happen, how to calculate these taxes and keep you out of trouble. You could be the best in the world at your business, whether that's, changing tires or, running a restaurant, but we're going to take care of that, regulation for you, right? That's really what you're going to do. And you're going to do it with people, with the professionals. The people that know how to do this.
And I like this comparison. I play professional football. It's a different level. It's a different level than college football. when I look at pro athletes today, I mean, to really be a pro, not only do you have to be a phenomenal athlete physically, but you have to be a mentally sound professional every single day. And so I look at what we do. We have pro payroll processors. They're experienced. Okay, so we need pro people to do that, to not mess up someone's payroll. People don't like to get their check wrong. Okay, then HR. We have pro HR people. They've been doing it for years. There's a problem with an employee. What do? We do drug testing. What do? What if we get filed unemployment? I got to call the Texas Workforce Commission. I don't know how to deal with it. So we have pro HR people. And in workers' comp and employee benefits, it's volume buys discount. So we have 300 companies that we represent. If there's a company that has, let's say Odessa, Midland, West Texas, in their oil field service, they have a workers' comp. They may pay $50,000, $75,000 a year to Texas Mutual or whomever for workers' comp. Well, they take their payroll. I have a $1 million payroll per year, and they're basing on that. Well, we go to Texas Mutual and say, we don't have $1 million payroll. We have $500 million payroll. And so we get better rates. So it's a simple volume buys discounts. Now we don't have deposits for workers' comp. We don't have audits. We take that off their plate. If there's a workplace injury, we're dealing with it, not the business owner. And then employee benefits, which is lastly probably one of the most important. A lot of companies, they go, I can't afford any benefits for my guys. And so we make that affordable for a small business owner. So now we're giving benefits to a company of 20, 25, 30, the same as American Airlines. So we're giving big company benefits to small and mid-sized companies.
Yeah, and it sounds exactly like, I mean, you've got to do this stuff anyway, right? If you're a business owner, you've already got to do it, and you're already going to pay for it, whether it's internally with your time, with your own dollars, or you're going to hire the professionals to come do it for you.
Yeah, we even drilled down to a time system. I signed up a trucking company of 100 people. He had a $5 million payroll. He said, I'm figuring you're going to save me $50,000 a year just managing the time.
Oh, exactly. I mean, 15 minutes
People
here,
don't
15
even
minutes
think
there.
about that.
That's right. Hey, let me ask you this. I mean, we're kind of running out of time here. Let me ask you this one last question. I ask everyone this. If you had your best friend, you were talking to your best friend, and your best friend says, you know what, Vic, I'm going to start a company. What advice would you give him?
Well, when you start a company, it's a lot involved. And anybody that started a company, nobody knows unless you're that person starting that company what all's involved to get up and geared up and running. It's a lot. And so what I would suggest my friend to do is, you're really good at doing X, Y, Z. You patent this product, you go forward. You're going to have to raise money. You're going to have to go sell. You have to market. But you're going to have this thing called back office administration. And you got to do that right or you'll be put out of business. And I would say encourage someone, look into a PEO relationship and have that person, that company, and there's a lot of them around the country. We're not the only game in town. Look at our model because it makes very much sense for a small business owner to take all that drain. It's a drain of resources. And so my encouragement to business owners is have everybody in this company on the same page with trying to make this company money, bottom line money, profitability. Right. So focus on those things. So that's right. It. Focus on the revenue generating areas, not non-revenue. We do non-revenue.
Hey, Vic, I want to thank you for coming in. And it sounds like, and I'm going to try to close with this, it sounds like a PEO, a professional employer organization, will keep your business in business. Am I right?
Absolutely. And allow you to grow. We have a great success story in closing. A master plumber came to us. He had 7 employees. And he said, I really want to grow this. I really want to grow it to 30, 35, and then retire at the age of 65 and run it from my farm in Central Texas. And I can do that. But he said, I'm intimidated to grow. But what we've allowed this company to do is grow to 35 employees. because we got all the back office done.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a wonderful story, and he sleeps well at night.
Which we all want to, right? We all want to.
He doesn't wake up in the middle of the night and go, "Oh my God, I got this issue with IRS. I got this employee." No, it's a one phone call.
Hey, Vic, thanks again, buddy. You've been on the Clear Path to Cash. All right. Thank you, sir. And for everybody listening, remember to go to cashflowmike.com for any of the show notes or any questions. You can also go to YouTube and just subscribe to Cashflow Mike's channel over there. You can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, any of the favorite podcast directories out there. Just look for the Clear Path to Cash. My name is Cashflow Mike, and you've been listening to the Clear Path to Cash. Thank you so much. And remember, don't be a dumb business owner.